Yeah, so my name is Aidan Salisbury. I go to Cottonwood High School. My dad was a lot like me in high school. Like, high school was easy for him. And he went to college and he's like, it was the hardest thing ever because he didn't know how to study. One of the big rumors was it was so much nicer to take concurrent enrollment because you didn't have to rely on taking an AP test to get that credit. But I just saw it was much more of a way to kind of shoot myself ahead. Like, it was just, it seemed like an easier way to save money. It's like a big thing in my head to not spend money. I hate that. And it's so much easier for me to just be like, all right, this concurrent enrollment class here costs $15. If I take it in 2 years in college, it's going to cost me $1,000. So that was my biggest thing was, all right, I'm going to finish my class. 1, I get to do it with all my friends. 2, I'm saving a lot of money. 3, I'm getting the same credits that I would if I took it in 2 years.
As soon as finals are over, well, yeah.
Right off the bat, I could see that it was a lot, it was going to be a lot more advanced than a normal core honors class would be. I think my biggest concern was the workload. I have a lot of extracurricular activities that I do, and that was my biggest thing. Was I was really nervous about like the workload that I was going to have, because everyone talks about when you go to college you have all this extra stuff that you have to do and all this homework and stuff like that. But as the year went on, like my workload really wasn't any more than a normal high school class, honestly. Never really felt like I was super, like there were times that I was overwhelmed and it was hard, but I never really felt like that I was too far that I couldn't keep going in that class. So I think probably workload was my biggest hesitation. And then maybe just like fear of not being able to do well in the class. But with support and stuff from the teachers, I never had trouble. If I had questions, I could always email or call them. Like there was plenty of resources there to help out. A lot of my concurrent enrollment classes, I never had a seating chart, which I think is awesome, because I think that they just took it much more of a, you're an adult in this class than it is you're a stupid teenager, right? So it was like, that kind of just indicated to me that yes, this class is going to be much more than my normal high school class is. The biggest thing is never let yourself fall behind. Like, school was never really a problem for me, and like if everything was due the day before the test, I could sit down for an hour and finish everything before the test. Concurrent enrollment, I couldn't do that. Like it was one of my first big tests in the Academy of Finance, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I can just wait this out. I'll just do all the stuff right before, and I bombed that test, and it was not great. So I had to go back and redo all of that and relearn it, and from henceforth it's a lot easier, and it takes a lot less time to just learn the stuff as the teacher's going and just do the assignments as they're given, than it is to wait until the last day and do that stuff. Like, there's a lot of classes in high school that you can just kind of back off, snooze through, take the test, and you're good. But there's some concurrent enrollment classes where I was like, if you didn't pay attention, you would not do great. And that was my biggest thing, was just learning how to study and how to study right. So I became much more efficient with my studying, which they taught us in some concurrent enrollment classes, and I learned how to do that. And it made life a whole lot easier. Like, even after I learned and did all the homework and stuff, like, it was just, I wouldn't have to spend hours upon hours studying. I could spend an hour a week leading up to the test and I'd be good. So this year, I took much more of a heavy load on junior year than I did this year as far as concurrent and AP. It's a lot less stress now to do that, because not just with the less class load, but also I know, like, all right, I've kind of gone through the hardest stuff that I have to, and it's like, even if I do hit a hard curveball with a class, it's like, all right, well, I've been through this before, and now I know what to expect, and I know I can rely on teachers for help, and I know that not just teachers, but SLCC itself has resources that I can use. So yeah, I think just a lot less stress this year.